Hello everyone, and this is game number 3. We are all tied up at 1 game apiece between Elegant and WFZ. Game 3 taking place here on Echo Isle. Should be a great game once again as we get this underway. Now, on the top left-hand side of the map, we have Elegant spawning as the red Night Elf. Meanwhile, on the top right-hand side of the map, we have the blue Undead WFZ. Wow. Try to take a nap, try to bring forth more energy, and I feel like I need to pace myself here because the opening segments of these games really doesn't have that much action. You see some early scouting, you see some Ancient of War, but we pretty much know what's going to happen here. Ancient of War is going to pop out an archer, it's going to go ahead, poke away at the Null Brute, and then we may get this game underway. So let's go ahead, speed up, slow down the game back to the customary time as the game is now ready to go. And here we have it. We saw that what's happening here. All right, the Wisp is actually trying to make its way in, and it's going to try and hire up the Troll Shadow Priest before anyone else, and also then hide in the little location in the back. This is actually a very, very important tactic and trick that allows you to get more archers, and now we can see that it is a Dark Ranger actually as the opening. So the Dark Ranger is going to start trying to take down these kobolds first, and now as the Ancient of War is in position, here we go. So go ahead and try to focus down the tunnelers. The Death Knight is going to come in with the quick steal, getting some more experience. The Dark Ranger still doesn't have anything on the board yet, as we now see skeletal minions are now making their way out. Alright, it looks as though another kobold will get taken down. A kobold tunneler is still there, but the Death Knight is still causing a little bit of problems. Lesser Dark Minion chasing that Death Knight around. You can tell red shields versus blue shields. That is going to be the difference. Very, very difficult when you see skeletal minions. Not quite sure knowing which ones are the aggroing ones. So far, it looks as though the Kobold Tunneler is still absorbing a bit of damage. Are we going to see it fall? It looks like it should fall right there. And there is another Dark Minion ready to go. Another Death Coil coming in. And the Death Knight has really stolen a lot of experience. That Dark Ranger actually less... Even though he has dealt the majority of the damage, things will all change here, though, with this Renegade Wizard getting taken down, though. And with this Renegade Wizard finally down, it looks like that Dark Ranger is still going to be a little bit shy from level 2. Does pick up a Pendant of Energy, a very, very nice item for that Dark Ranger, since the Dark Ranger is so mana intensive during the early stages of the game. Now, what are we going to have instead? We're going to have the Ghouls attempt to clear out this Ogre Magi creep camp in the back. And this is potentially a huge, huge play as well. The reason why it works out well is that the Ogre Warrior off over here really can't do that much damage. It's trying to make its way in. The Ogre Magi is just going to end up surrounded very, very quickly. There it goes. It gets taken down. Level 2 now on the Death Knight, as the rest of the Troll Trappers are going to go ahead and fall. The rest of the units are now trying to pull back here. They do not want to be in there when the Dark Ranger does show up. Dark Ranger is sitting at level 2 and was trying to finish off some of those units. Now unable to do so. Dark Ranger is going to finish up this creep camp, what was started, but the Death Knight has already taken... It looked like it was one of the best items, but he quickly just threw it back into the Goblin Marketplace and sold it. Alright, Troll Trapper is going to fall here. There it goes. The Dark Ranger sitting at level 2. The Death Knight making sure that there is no expansion going on just quite yet, as the Ghouls are now perhaps looking to try and clear out this creep camp here, which does drop a very, very important tome. Now, the Dark Ranger, still sitting at level 2, trying to clear out this creep camp, wants to get up to level 6 for Charm, and Charm is then one of those very, very awesome abilities, as the Charm essentially lets you steal an opponent's unit, giving you +1 and also making your opponent -1. Dark Ranger already sitting at level 3. If it gets to level 5, those lesser Dark Minions will just become greater Dark Minions. Very, very strong indeed, as the Dark Ranger is still wandering around here. Alright, Forest Troll Berserker now making its way down. The Death Knight has cleared out his opponent's creep camp for him, and that's not that good for the Dark Ranger, since the Dark Ranger is really looking to try to get higher and higher in level. The Death Knight just wondering where his opponent could possibly be. The Death Knight actually does a little bit of a head fake back around as the Dark Ranger is looking here, and that was actually really important. Doing a little bit of that head fake and buying himself time. Now the Death Knight is going to go after this Tree of Life, force a cancellation, And by forcing the cancellation, it's going to reset the plans here, as we do see a Tome of Experience now picked up by the Panda. Panda currently sitting at level 1. Dark Ranger currently sitting at level 3, as we are now seeing skeletal minions just rushing inside the base here. Ghouls are doing a little bit of cleanup. The Lich is here as well. And what is an unexpected surprise is the amount of experience that this Lich already has. The Lich currently sitting at, or just was spawned, still at maximum mana, but already up to 80 experience, as the Dark Ranger now tries to clear out the bottom right-hand side of the map. This creep camp, this expansion creep camp, was already cleared out on the bottom left by his opponent, so he thought to himself, you know what, why don't I steal it instead, as a Ring of Protection of +2 now dropped. Dark Ranger could easily turn around, try to get some damage off onto that Lich here. You can see that Troll Shadow Priest taking a lot of damage, getting nuked extremely quickly, and now the Death Knight is running back once more. Dark Ranger still sitting at 3, Panda now sitting at 2, with Drunken Haze and Breath of Fire. Things could turn around rather quickly. Are we going to be seeing exactly that? Not quite sure, as the Dark Ranger really needs to perhaps Breath of Fire. Dark Ranger, oh nope, in comes a Death Knight instead. There's a Drunken Haze, there's a Breath of Fire, and the Death Knight taking a lot more damage than he bargained for. They're now trying to pull back. All right, there you go. Nightcrawler taken out. Tome of Agility +2. Most likely will get picked up by the Dark Ranger there. The Dark Ranger could really use the additional +2 attack. What is going on? No, not doing that instead. Not quite sure where the Tome went. Was it picked up by the Panda? It looks like it could have been picked up by the Panda. I did not see it. But yeah, let's see what's going to be happening next. Pendant of Energy is in fact on the Panda. Panda going to be blowing Breath of Fire all across the map, and once he gets to level 3, that's going to make it extremely deadly. All of those ghouls will be melting as another army of dark minions just runs inside the base. Alright, that's actually going to accidentally feed more experience into that Lich and into that Death Knight, as all the units are now running back again. Panda still sitting at level 2. It looks like the Dark Ranger is still nearby, taking some of that experience as well. So that means that both of these heroes won't be leveling up. Both of them will just be on the cusp of getting to their next appropriate level, as the Dark Ranger now tries to back off. All right, there's the Frost Nova. Dark Ranger immune to Death Coil by virtue of being undead, as another ensnare goes down. The Obsidian Statue could get taken down. There it goes, and a huge loss for the Death Knight army, as the Lich and the Death Knight loses that Obsidian Statue and loses the ability to just try and heal back up the rest of that army. All right, Dark Ranger still sitting at level 3, though. The Moonwells should be rather full. Yes, they are. Pretty much full on Moonwells, unless it was just newly constructed. But the Dark Ranger isn't really getting that much higher in level as I would have expected. All right, Ogre Mauler now trying to back off. It looks as though it's going to be slowly moving back around. The Dark Ranger should get to level 4 here. Panda should get to level 3. There it goes. And there is one level. Dark Ranger needs just a little bit more experience again. There it is, as the Panda now going to finish off this Troll Berserker. All right, this is still a very long game of creeping. Nothing really happening elsewhere, as the ghouls, the Crypt Fiends, and the Death Knight now need to figure out where they are going to be traveling next. In the meantime, a Tree of Life already entangling this gold mine, and will be setting up a second base. Echo Isle is a very interesting map, though. It is rather small, but gold is very much limited on this map. If you go into low upkeep, and even if you have an expansion, you may end up hurting yourself in the long run. You really need this game to finish it in the early stages of the late game if you have an expansion. Otherwise, if your opponent is able to outlast you, if they're able to establish up their expansion and continue to mine it without any taxation, without that upkeep cost, that is going to be a huge turnaround once more. Death Knight sitting with a Ring of Regeneration and Unholy Aura. Very fast regeneration there. You can see how fast his hit points are regenerating. About, I would say, what, 5 a second? 1,000, yeah, about 5 every second. That is a huge amount. And the Death Knight, who normally does not, or who normally gets focused down rather often because other units can get death coiled, that Death Knight is going to be rather deadly. All right, here we go. What's coming up into that next battle? All right, Panda trying to take down this Gargantuan Sea Turtle. The positioning is going to happen just right. Tome of Intelligence picked up by the Dark Ranger. There's a Pure Up of Vitality as well. and a Staff of Preservation. Here we go. Here's the upcoming fight. There is a Frost Nova, beautiful Frost Nova. There's a Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, as the units are taking a lot of damage there. Scroll of Healing was used to try to counteract it, and also Devour Magic by the Destroyer, as this is going extremely well for the Undead Army. Undead Army just continuing to just push into this position here. There are a whole bunch of Dryads though, and now that all of the other ground units are down, the Dryads are going to focus down onto the last remaining Crypt Fiend, and once that last Crypt Fiend is gone, things could turn around rather quickly. All right, Staff of Preservation saves a unit there. Lich, Scroll of Town Portal now coming in. There is, Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire not in time, as there is the Scroll of Town Portal to head back home. You're going to see the Dark Ranger pick up, drink a lot of Moon Juice here, passing by. Is going to drop the Pure Up to Vitality first. Yes, of course she is. Picks it back up, already back up to near max or at maximum hit points. And now the only way for any side to really do damage is by engaging the other player. We are at 55 over 70 compared to 45 over 50. That Dark Ranger almost getting taken out. That would have been a very, very dramatic scare, but at the same time, the Dark Ranger was the weakest link. The fight was going incredibly well for the Night Elf, except that that Dark Ranger was so low. Without a way to keep that Dark Ranger healthy, focusing on the heroes may be the primary counter strategy for the Undead. And if he's able to focus down the heroes, then things will turn around very quickly. Oh, what is this? All of a sudden, the Dryads get a very free, easy to kill a Crypt Fiend on the far side of the map, and an illusion off over there. And what is going to happen here? All right, Death Knight sitting at level 4. Let's take a look. 49 over 50, haunting this gold mine down over here. Meanwhile, we're looking at 64 over 70. I know it sounds like a very big difference, but you got to remember that the Undead player is only mining 4 gold less a second. It is not 20 to 10, even though there is a 2 base to 1. It is a 14 to 10 because of that taxation difference. All right, trying to stop this entangled gold mine already. You can see a Wisp is attempting to repair. That's quickly going to get taken out. All right, a massive number of Wisps now coming in. All right, in comes the Panda. The Panda, the illusionary Panda, quickly realize that, hey, this is just an illusion. What is going to be happening next? Are we going to perhaps go after Devour the Magic? Yes, we are. No, we did not. The Dryads are going to try to engage here, but without meat wagons to really deal with this army of Dryads, the Death Knight doesn't have much you can do. However, the positioning could be very bad here, as all of a sudden the Abomination is going to get slowed down, and that is a whole bunch of free damage being absorbed once again. Another Crypt Fiend down over here is going to get caught in transit, and the Death Knight really just getting caught in transit all over the place, as we see another another Breath of Fire. Very, very low Dryads in the back. The Crypt Fiends are focusing them down rather quickly. There we go. Both sides continuing the fight here, as the Lich still has plenty of mana. All right, in comes a couple of burrows. Very, very well timed. We should see all of these unburrow just as the Scroll Town Portal picks them all back and takes them all back home. Death Knight, Lich, very low on hit points. Obsidian statues are here as well. One Dryad wanders into a base, quickly gets taken down. Not quite sure what that was about, but let's see what is the follow-up play. Panda sitting at level 3. And the real saving grace for the Night Elf now is going to be these Moonwells. These Moonwells constantly replenishing, giving an easy way to restore hit points and mana while fighting. And anytime you're able to trade, I've said this in StarCraft 2, and it's true in WarCraft 3 as well. Anytime you're able to trade mana for units, that is a very, very good trade, since it is essentially a resource that is not gold, and that is not gold that you can easily spend to try and win victories. All right, let's see what's happening over here. Death Knight sitting at level 4, just a sliver away from level 5. Level 3 Death Coil could be in the works. Meanwhile, let's take a look at where that Dark Ranger is. Dark Ranger sitting at level 4. So it is going to be Death Knight Lich versus Death Knight Lich versus Dark Ranger Panda as the Dryads quickly wander in here. Are they going to be able to do anything? Oh, a Dryad quickly gets Staff of Preservation. Beautifully done there, as now the Destroyer now needs to back off. All right, let's go ahead and turn back around. Are we going to see any bears? This is just a mass Dryad army. And now we do see a whole bunch of Crypt Fiends. There is a little bit of that poke. There's a Drunken Haze. There's a Breath of Fire. There is the Devour Magic, but I believe it's a physical effect, so it does not get dissipated. All right, another Crypt Fiend goes down. Another Crypt Fiend may get taken down. There is another Breath of Fire. Both sides still fighting as the Destroyers are now devouring magic. Oh, Staff of Preservation saves another, and oh my goodness, a Death Coil, a last-second Death Coil saves, and now there was, I believe, a Dark or a Death Pack there to try and deny the experience as that Abomination was getting focused down. Very, very big switch around once again. Panda sitting at level 3. We see Rejuvenation now on the board as Druids of the Claw are now popping out onto the field. 79 over 80 supply. We're looking at 50 over 80. Undead really hoping that this game goes extremely long. He's going to be playing extremely defensively, hoping that his opponent constantly engages in unfavorable matchups. The amount of gold that the Undead player is sitting on, about 800 and growing. He is outmining his opponent 20 gold a second to 14, but he is also down in supply by about 30. That is a huge amount. He's going to have to really play tactically, exchange well, and pretty much fight on Blight to get every advantage that he can. Meanwhile, the Night Elf player needs to figure out a way to pressure a fight that is not necessarily in a favorable position for the Undead. Undead finally in upkeep. You can see him now spending all of his gold, getting into 61 over 80 supply already. There is a Meat Wagon being trained, as there is another Abomination being trained off to the north, and this could potentially be very deadly. The bears are all ready to go into bear form. Are we going to be seeing that here? They have plenty of mana, and here we go. In comes the engagement, and what is going to be happening next? All right, the Panda comes in here, level 3, a Breath of Fire. Is he going to try to Breath of Fire all of these towers? That is the true question, as the rest of the army now needs to come in from the bottom. All right, there's one Breath of Fire, level 4 now on the Panda, as we are now going into a bit of an engagement. All right, Abomination is out on the field here. Crypt Fiend, Staff of Preservation, does not... unable to get saved, as the Death Knight somehow wanders into the mist of the Night Elf army. Potion of Invulnerability quickly saves that problem there, as we now see both sides continuing to fight. All right, Death Knight now trying to get away. Let's see, a Drunken Haze onto an Abomination. They're all trying to pull back here, and really all of this piercing damage is going to add up as the Death Knight uses a Scroll of Town portal. And this is going to be interesting, as the Death Knight, there goes another Abomination. And what is happening next? The Death Knight just gets teleported straight into a unfavorable spot again, as the Abominations are in the back. 67 over 70 supply. Another Dryad may get taken down. Staff of Preservation saves it instead, as the Crypt Fiends are just trying to catch up and poke apart damage continually. All right, let's take a look. Death Knight may need a Death Coil. Unable to save it, and a day late there, but a bear gets taken down in the process. All right, this war of attrition is not going well in favor of the Undead army. You can see that the Panda still has a potion of mana there, as both sides are still fighting here. The Death Knight, without that Ring of Regeneration that I was talking about moments ago. We'll see what happens with that, as there goes a Panda. Panda ventures in a little bit too far and now falls at level 4. Death Knight and Lich, level 5, level 4, stays inside the base, able to fend the attack here, as we now see there is one Dryad and 2 Dryads back at the base at this Tree of Eternity. Main gold mines will be finished mining out in about 3 minutes. That means that we will be down to the last couple of gold mines left. Meanwhile, the Dryads are now trying to pull away. That Dryad very low on hit points, but is going to survive somehow, as the Dark Ranger, Scroll of Town portal now being used as well, as they need to get away. This is not going well at all for either side. Both of them taking a lot of losses, as Dryads have now shown up to the party. What is this all about, as the bear now trying to get away? All right, bear back over here. What is that bear doing besides feeding experience? The Death Knight at level 5. And is the bear going to fall? Yes, the bear does fall. I do not believe the Death Knight got any more experience there, but we do also have some gargoyles. Gargoyles are an interesting choice at this point. In that, I guess they are better at dealing with dryads than archers, but not exactly sure how they're going to work out against that panda. The panda now being resurrected, already 3/4 of the way back in. And we are taking a look. This gold mine is very, very low on gold now, down to about 2 minutes left. This one down to about 90 seconds. So a minute and a half as the meat wagons are starting to launch. And this is where we may see the undead start pulling through. He's going to have more gold. I believe he has more gold in the bank. No, he has less gold in the bank right now, but he does have more potential gold since he started mining from this gold mine a bit later. All right, off to the north, the army of dryads quickly comes in to take down all of these troll trappers. I like this idea. I like this positioning. The meat wagon, if it just starts lobbing at this entangled or at the Tree of Life. Wow, the Tree of Life is all of a sudden going to take a whole bunch of damage. And the entangled gold mine is going to be lost as well. All right, shades are in position. You can see how much damage was lost there. Lich now sitting at level 5. A level 3 Frost Nova from that is going to absolutely destroy. And 3 unchallenged meat wagons completely turn the tables around. But I really don't know about these gargoyles. These gargoyles may actually be a curse, as the gargoyles are going to be feeding more experience. All right, in come the dryads. That is a disease cloud, a disease-ridden battlefield to walk through. As you can now see that the bears are trying to go after some of these meat wagons. All right, it looks as though another bear going to get taken down. This bear is still engaging. Another abomination going to get taken down as well. We are still fighting back and forth as the bears are going straight for the back line here. And this is one of the benefits of Undead. Undead is able to move around with their siege units extremely quickly because of that unholy aura. All right, Squirrel Town Portal. All the units are now back here. Meat wagons. Also, mechanical units that get passive regeneration from the unholy aura. So also obsidian statues. So that's also one of the reasons why Undead is just so deadly. Faster moving siege units able to escape the claws of the Druid of the Claw. As we're now looking at a 70/80 supply versus 70/70. All right, no more gold being mined here. The Tree of Life needs to make a very long trek. And the dryads and the bears are all currently disease cloud, meaning that they are still taking damage over time. That is not good news. Back over here, you can see that there is one spirit tower, only one spirit and one Nerubian tower, one of each. What is going to be happening next as the army is going to be getting into position? All right, 3 destroyers in the air, and I believe that the undead army composition is just superior. All right, there you have it. Going after the bear. It looks as though, why aren't you killing that bear? There goes one bear already, as the meat wagons are still just lobbing left and right. There goes another bear. Staff of Preservation saves a bear there. So a little bit of late response as we now have more Breath of Fire coming in. All right, the panda is still trying to push forward. Another bear does get taken down. This panda is just trying to destroy the meat wagons. But by the time he gets there and he looks around, he may see all of the dryads are already dead. Panda still pushing forward very heavily. The 2 meat wagons are all that is left. Let's take a look at this. There goes another bear and a couple of Crypt Fiends attacks. That is going to be enough. I believe the Undead has taken this game. It's 58/80 supply compared to 45/70. No gold being mined. This Tree of Eternity making the long trek home as the Death Knight gets in. Oh, there's a miss there. Talk about drunken haze at the right opportunity. And there is the GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.